Python for loops is a simple explanation of Python for loops in simple English. Learn, test your knowledge, and then relax to some great music. Okay, so we're going to look at for loops using Python 3. So what's a for loop? A for loop is just some code that makes the following code repeat a number of times. So we can look at the syntax. Here we have the word for, then we have maybe some variable, then we have the word in. In this example we have a list of numbers from 0 to 3, so that means the loop will go from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. So again, in this example we actually print x, so the output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, each on a different line. The same thing will happen if we use the term range. So range in brackets, if you just use one number, will say how many times you want to go round in the loop, but it starts at 0. So in this example we start at 0 and we go up to 3. You can loop through strings, so here we have apple, banana, cherry. You can loop through strings and integers and floats and mixtures of them all. In this example we have a number, a string, a float, another string and another float. You can also go for each character in a string. So here we have a string called word, and that has the characters H, I and exclamation mark. So that will go through each character. We can put a for loop inside another for loop. That's called a nested loop. So in this example we have the first for loop will go through the numbers 0 and 1, and the nested for loop will go through the numbers 2 and 3. So you'll see the output. We start off with the first number 0, so we have 0, 2, 0, 3, and then we have the second number 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So that's a nested for loop. If you want to output on the same line, you can. In Python 3 you can use this term end equals, and here we have a space to put a space between the H, the I and the exclamation mark. In Python 2 you would just use the comma. Sometimes in programming we use a counter, so it's basically a number, and that will just go up by 1 every time you go through the loop, which is called an iteration. So here we have an example where x equals 0, so we're going to count from 0, and then every time the number is taken from a list during the for loop we'll print the counter and then the number. So we have 0, 7, 1, 8, 2, 9. There is another way to do this using the word enumerate. So here we have the same list 7, 8 and 9, but instead we're using the word enumerate. So you can see the code here, and we have the counter, which is I. We use a colon here just for show, and my number here. So we have 0, 7, 1, 8, 2, 9. And if you want to change that to count from 1, you can just add 1 in the enumerate brackets. So here we have the list name, x list, comma 1. So our output is 1, 2, 3. So the counter starts at 1. So 1, 7, 2, 8, 3, 9. So we just quickly looked at range. You can use this in slightly different ways. So before we just used range with 4 in the brackets, and that printed 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to tell the range where to start, you can use 2 numbers. So the first number is where to start, and the second one is where to finish, but don't include it. So range 1 to 4 will start at 1, 1, 2, 3, but won't include the 4. You can act a step rather than just counting by 1. In this example we start at 1, we go up to, but not including 10, and we step 2, so we don't add by 1 each time. We go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So that's step. Here's an example with range. We have range 10, 0 and -1. So what do you think this does? So we know the first one is where we start, and the second one is where we finish, and the third one is a step. So you can probably realise that this starts at 10, goes down to 1, and counts downwards counts by -1. So it will print 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're doing loops, such as while loops or for loops, sometimes your code will run and it doesn't stop. And you think, I want to stop it. The way I stop it, for example, in the control panel, would be just to use the control button and C together, and that will quit the program. You may also see this type of code online, other people's code, and you may copy and paste it into your editor or like Notepad++, whatever you're using, and it doesn't work. And you might get this error message about this kind of like character problem, non-ASCII character, and you'll probably find that it's the single or double quotes, because they're often if you copy and paste in from the web, for example, they're Unicode. So therefore, when you run your program, if you don't tell it that you're using special characters, then you'll get this error message. So be careful if you use other people's code and just copy and paste. Sometimes you get this error message, or even you may even get like an indentation problem. Okay, time for the quiz. Question 1. Create a for loop that prints numbers 1 to 10. That's question 1. Question 2. Create a for loop that prints numbers 1 to 7 and the days of the week. So for example, if you have the days of the week starting from Monday going to Sunday, then your output would be 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 3 Wednesday, up to 7 Sunday. That's question 2. Question 3. Create 2 for loops. A for loop using range that uses numbers from 1 to 5. Also a nested loop inside the first one that also prints numbers 1 to 5. So inside these 2 loops, we need to print both numbers and the sum of both those numbers, add them together, and I want you to show that on each time the loop runs, each iteration. That was question 3. Question 4, we've got a list of numbers here, and I want you to create a loop that checks each number and you store the lowest number. So we'll go through each one and remember, if you like, the lowest number. Also adds each number and prints the average. So if it adds them, it's basically summing them up, and the average is going to be the sum divided by the count. That's question 4. Finally, question 5. And you ask a user to input numbers and add them together. So a user is just going to enter a number, press enter, enter a number, press enter. But they've got to finish somehow. So the loop finishes when the user enters the word done, D-O-N-E. And then actually you can print the sum of the numbers every time the user enters them. So the user can enter a number and see the running total. Okay, that was question 5. Okay, shall we look at the answers now? Okay, question 1 was quite straightforward, just print numbers 1 to 10. So we can do that using range from 1 to 11, and that will print numbers 1 to 10. So that is quite a straightforward question 1. Question 2, we had the days of the week, and in this example we use enumerate. So we have the list name, days, and then we start at 1. So this will print I, which will be 1 to 7, and my number is the variable that goes through the list. So that will print the day of the week. So that's the output. So it starts 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, up to 7 Sunday. Here, question 3, we had the for loop inside the other for loop, and we wanted print numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we start at number 1, so our range is going to start at 1, and we're going to go up to 5. So our range is going to be 1 to 6, because range doesn't use the last number. So we wanted to print the 2 numbers and add them together. So here we just print x, y, and x plus y. So that's the output. You have the first number, the second number from the nested loop, and then the sum of the two numbers. That was question 3's solution. Question 4. So this looks like a lot of code, but actually the top line, you would normally put these on 3 lines in Python. We've got the word none, so we have no value for lowest. You could use 0, but there's a minus number, so 0 wouldn't work. So that's why we're using none. The count and the sum we can start at 0. So we start our for loop. We're going to use the counter, so we add 1 to that, and then we're going to add up the numbers. So that's our sum variable. Now we're looking at each time we go through the loop to see if the number we're looking at is lower than what we've got. So the first one is going to be the lowest because we haven't got any number. So if we've got lowest is none, then we change to 5, and then we go through each number. So 7 is not lower than 5, 4 is, so now our lowest will change to 4, then it will change to 1, then it will change to -3. At the end, we can divide the sum by the count, which will equal average, and that prints out the average of 4 and a lowest of -3. So that was question 4. Question 5, we have a loop that asks a user for a number. So we've used for here. You might use a while loop, but that will potentially go on forever, so you can use for loops. So we've used a range of 1,000, so the user's not really likely to sit there and put in 1,000 numbers, so that should be enough. We ask the user to enter a number. Then if the user puts in the word that they finished, done or stop or exit, then break. That means that the for loop will finish. Now while the loop's still going and not finishing, we want to change their entry, the number they've entered, from a string to an int. Then we add it to the sum, and then we print the number and the sum. So that's the solution to question 5. So in this example of the output, the user enters 3, 5 and 7, and we can see there we have 3, 5 and 7 and the total of 5, 8 and 15, and then when they finish they put in done, and that's the output. Okay, we've come to the end of the quiz. So the final question for you is, can you think of a real life example when you need to repeat something? If you can, why not put it in the comment and put it below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I'm just a